Hi everybody. If you were born in either 1950 or 1960, you might be out looking for a guitar from the year I was born. The reason I bring that up because I have a Martin from 1959 and a Gibson from 1960. When you compare acoustic guitars to the current electric market, if you look at, for instance, this is a 1959 Brazilian Rosewood D28. And you can see in the back this gorgeous Brazilian rosewood, and it's book matched, and you can tell that from these marks in the guitar how it was opened up like a book. So they actually cut the wood and opened it like a book, so it is matching. You get a more consistent tone. The one thing about Martin is that they always cure their wood. That is their specialty, and that is what makes them different from other manufacturers even today, is their concern and their detail in the woods that they use. Now this guitar, typical Martin, has a 1 11/16 nut and just a huge sound. I sold this to the owner that sold it back to us some 15 years ago, and at the time he said, "You remarked at the time when I bought it what a great sounding guitar it is," and it really is. This Brazilian rosewood is fantastic, and Brazilian rosewood now, to get that on a new guitar, is about $15,000 to $25,000 extra. So again, when you compare these guitars to what's out there, a 59 Les Paul, a 59 Strat, a 59 Telecaster, the solid body electrics, well, 59 Les Paul is as much as your house, and a 59 Strat is $35,000, $45,000. Now, one might ask, are these good investments and how high they can go? Something you might look at is how the acoustic guitar compares to the electric market. They made less acoustics. Electric guitars are more mass produced. One way you can tell an old Martin is the way the bridge comes all the way across on the saddle. Or I'm sorry, the saddle comes all the way across on the bridge. It is a through saddle, so you can tell from a long ways off. Also, they started doing Made in USA somewhere around 1963. This is a 1959. Now, Martin was making flat top guitars for about 100 years before Gibson started making flat top guitars. And Gibson making arch top guitars for the most part, which is based on violin cello manufacturing. They were using that. The arch top tends to project more, but it doesn't sustain as much. An arch top is meant to dissipate any resonant frequencies. A flat top is meant to enhance those natural resonant frequencies that are in the wood. Got all that? You're writing it down? There's going to be a test. So in 1938, Martin or Gibson made the J200, and they were really marketing this guitar for cowboy crooners. In the late 30s, in the early 40s, people would go to theaters. Of course, there was no Netflix. There was one way to entertain yourself through live music or to go to the theater, and a lot of these cowboy singers wanted this dramatic guitar. They called it a Super Jumbo 200. And part of the reason they liked it, because it was styling, it also had all this bass, but being made of maple. And then come in and look at that maple. You can see that. Look at that back stripe on this. Look at the heels and the detail, the three-piece neck. Come on up the neck, and you can see too the black dart on the back of the headstock. Wait, I'm going to turn that around, and you can see the detail, the crown in the top. This was called the king of the flat top guitars, and a J200 was the most expensive acoustic they made. And all of maple in a small body guitar tends to be a little bright, but you put it on a big guitar, a cello shaped guitar like this. This is 17 inches across. It is, these are a little longer scale length too than the normal Gibsons. The J200s were done that, so they had more projection. And there's all this bass and all this treble, but the scooped mid-range is really about where the human voice is. So these cowboy crooners, these movie stars with their big hats and they're big horses and everything big. This really kind of defined that genre. Now here they move along, and 10 years later, in 1938 they introduced it. In 1948 they made blonde, but it was extra. You paid 10% extra to get any guitar from Gibson in blonde. Why? Because they didn't want to find, it was hard to find wood without mineral streakings, and with a sunburst guitar you can hide those imperfections. So when you get a natural wood guitar, you have to go and pick a really nice piece of wood from the wood mill. So this is a very fancy, top of the line, most expensive thing they made, and there was, in 1960, this 1960 J200, I'm going to hold it up for visuals so in case you can't hear me. 1960 Gibson J200, they made 57 of these. 57. You got to figure at least half of those are under severe repair. On both of these guitars, they are both healthy. That is, they have a fresh neck set. There's no reason for you to be concerned about doing any repairs. We at Willie's make a point of putting all our acoustic guitars through the shop before we present them to you. Even if it costs us more than we're selling the guitar for, we insist on doing that for the guitar. That's not to say that nothing will ever happen to these. You still have to take great care of an acoustic guitar and make sure you humidify it. But these two guitars represent some excellent buys, both in tone and enjoyment and investment. Rich, detailed, expensive looking. The J200 is a very, very cool guitar. Both of these guitars are about the same value. Both of these guitars from the same era, and both of these guitars worthy of your attention. Call us, make an appointment, come in, compare these two, or look at some other stuff while you can. All right? We look forward to seeing you. Call us, make an appointment, and come on in the acoustic room. Thanks.